our first look at post-ban list interesting stuff. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. Next plays first run through post-ban list meta is here. And, always taking a look at these early competitions, we get a good chance to see just how things are going. And we had 7 Fire Kings being the most represented deck. Who didn't see that coming at this point? Like, if you didn't think that Fire Kings were going to try to be the most represented deck in a post-environment meta where literally Fire Kings are the best deck, okay. We also had 4 Voiceless, or Silent Forces. I'm really digging the Voiceless name here for the TCG. We also had 3 Rescue Ace. That's actually kind of interesting. Our poor Ice Barrier Duelist. There were 3 of them. And I believe they went 3-2, 2-3, and 1-4. I was looking at the deck list because they were posted, and I was like, oh, okay. We also had 2 Goaty. 2 Goaty, okay. We also had 2 Runic Duelists out here actually trying to be some meanie heads. And then we had 1 Zephyra. That's kind of interesting. We had 1 Ritual Beast. We had a Spiral Duelist. That's incredible to see. We had Infernoid as a one of. Looks like Sword Soul. Tri-Brigade, Salamangreat, Flonderies. I was expecting a little bit more from Flonderies. We had some Pendulum Magician Unchained, Purely, Labyrinth, Endymion, Exosister, and I don't actually recognize that last one here. But overall, this is diverse. This is the kind of stuff that you want to see in these tournament environments. The more diversity that you can kind of have showcasing in a meta definitely proves that you can have more things. Honestly, this does look more like a TCG tournament, more so. I mean, obviously the new things here. But the thing I'm a little bit disappointed with here is, we just got Infernoid support. We just got the Ritual Beast, the Ice Barrier support, but none of these decks really were able to do much here. And that's really disappointing, just kind of seeing the overall fall off of those new exciting toys that we're trying to do something. So we'll have to wait and see. This is, like I said, just the tip of the iceberg for this. Now, top 8. Oh boy. Well, hi, birdies. How are you? I see that our dear friends out here in the Garunix department really wanted to do their thing. I also love the fact they always have this odd cutoff, where it's like 4 and then 3 for the top bracket, but I assume it's because it's like X1 and so forth. So interesting to see that. We also had Fire King's most represented deck. Yeah, it's still in the most represented deck in Top Cut. Yep. Rescue Ace, still maintaining a very strong presence here, even as a one-of competitor going on into the Top Cut. Once again, definitely showing very strong presence in the meta. Also, Voiceless here, actually getting a strong showing here. The deck does feel very, very roguish, but that means that more and more people are going to have to find a way, kind of get this deck kind of set up, get it established, and see what we can kind of do with this. And Unchained, actually sitting here at the dinner table, the one of Unchained build was able to claw their way into the Top Cut, which TCG really helping them out here with the innovations of that. So your Top Cut looks interesting, to say the least. Let's pass on over to those deck lists. Ending your event here, to nobody's surprise, is the power of Fire Kings. Well, yeah, when half of your Top Cut is literally Fire Kings, it's to be expected. Now, please take note of Soul Release down here. We've definitely seen a lot of discussion in the TCG right now about Soul Release. The card has been going massively terminal. It's a huge mass exodus card out of the graveyard. That's why you're seeing actually double Promethean Princess starting to see play here now, because on the follow-up turn they're able to re-access it and then continue back up the lines of play. That's good, all right? One crossout designator, still the fact that the OCG has to find cool ways to adjust that. And we also see the Droll and Lockbird in here for the crossout designator, so in case you got to hit the high roll and actually rip it on out of the game, you can also do that. But this looks pretty standard. I don't really have any complaints about this. All right, next up here, the Rescue Ace deck. Wow, we're really stripping this thing down to good cards, I feel like, at this point. Honestly, looking at how Rescue Ace kind of has to perform right now, you need things like Super Polys. You need these good cards to honestly just keep the deck rolling right now. And you're going to see a lot of that here with this list, just obviously with the hand trap usage, the cross out. I do see post side deck, though, we are bringing in, once again, triple soul release. Okay, we're kind of forced into that situation yet again where you need the ability to control your opponent so you can do your thing. Also, you're only the Rescue Ace monster lineup. Obviously, with Emergency going to one, a lot of people just threw this deck in the dumpster. Like, it's not all that good, but you just kind of have to adjust ratios and adapt with things, and you shouldn't have much of a problem, honestly. It's still able to do its thing, but we'll wait and see. Next up is the Power of Fire Kings, yet again. Wow, seeing all of these Fire King, excuse me, it's a Voiceless. Just kidding. The Power of Voiceless here. Triple pre-prep, your triple pot of Extravagance for the draw power, your Diviner of the Heralds. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, I love what this deck is able to do with its extra deck utilities, especially with the Herald stuff. Now, this is another Super Poly deck. I know, you want to see something in the meta that doesn't necessarily want to have to abuse Super Poly, but you kind of need. I also see we're playing Dynamond down here in the extra deck as a 2-of, so we're finally getting some value out of that. And this build is playing the Mini Underworld Goddess. I remember looking at that card and going, this card doesn't seem all that good, but it does have play. And that's the most important part of this. Next up here, well, now this is our other Fire King Snake Eyes deck that I was ahead of myself on here. So looking at this, once again, you have to play the cross out. This build did extend its Droll and Lockbird package up a little bit. You want to make sure that you're able to hit those high notes here. Make sure you don't lose to the randomness. Double Promethean Princess, very standard. You're also seeing the double Phantasme coming in down here. The ability to get that draw sculpting for the hand so that you can set up and do your thing. And then, of course, triple Lancia. That is actually very cool to see. That ensures that you're not going to get blown out in the most random fashion against, the random BS that is, Runic. Then I see most of our rest of our side deck stuff very, very strong for countering a lot of the meta. So good stuff. But double Fire King builds in your top cut looking very, very good. Now, our Unchained top cut version here. Now this is, I'd probably consider this pretty standard. We have double Droll in the main for hand trap choices, still obviously playing Maxi, for sure. You are doing the triple tour guide with the one Sangan. They still get to play triple copies of Shyama. Must be nice, OCG, but once again, you see the double Super Poly board breaker here doing its thing. And of course, they get to play Shifter in this deck down inside deck. It's not like we didn't get to play Shifter in this too, but it's still doing its thing. They're also doing Thrust with double Change of Heart. Alright, we've already got one Talents built into the main deck, so like post side decking, we can bridge on into the Change of Hearts or something like that we need, or thrusting into the thrusting in to the Soul Release to kind of help things out along the way. Yeah, you definitely see the value that you're getting with this, but this is pretty cool to actually see that the TCG meta did adapt. And the best Ice Barrier list that I found out of the 3 was the 3-2 build for the day. Kind of showcasing that, hey, this build can do things. It has tough matchups right now, that's for sure. Also see that they're citing a Ruddy Rose down here. That's kind of interesting. I really wouldn't have considered having access to Ruddy. We're also doing some Stealth Krakens, and here we do play the one copy, the Ice Bear, kind of set them, do some things. I see we're playing one of the cool little sea cards here as well. This has a lot of cool options going about it. I like the ideas. That's for sure. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.